Fierce debate, fair opinion. It's Kerre McIvor Mornings on News Talk ZB.
It's 9:07. Welcome into the working week. Kerre McIvor with you through until midday. You are so very welcome to join me. 0800 80 10 80 is the number to call. You can text me 9292 ZBZB. And if you want to drop me a line, you can do that too. Kerre at newstalkzb.co.nz. Now, to matters pertaining over the weekend, the police say they're caught between a rock and a hard place when it comes to dealing with lawbreakers who are gathering together to protest, well, in the case of the protesters in Aotea Square on Saturday, they were protesting just about everything. Lesser spotted tit, the prison conditions, gay rights, just you name it, they were out there protesting. Ostensibly it was against the lockdown restrictions, but there were also placards protesting the presence of 5G, the fact that Bill Gates exists. You know the drill. Gathering together of the bewildered and the confused and the fearful and the conspiracy theorists. Jamie Lee Ross and Billy Te Kahia were the main rabble-rousers, trying to capitalise on fear and discontent to become politically relevant. Despite the fact that the gathering was unlawful under level 2.5 restrictions, just as in the case of the evangelical church group, who broke the rules under level 3 by gathering together to worship. Again, in this case, the police have taken a softly approach to dealing with the lawbreakers. And Police Association President Chris Cahill explained why that is to Mike Hosking on the Mike Hosking Breakfast this morning.
Yeah, it's a very confusing situation, and it's a difficult one. At one level you say go and lock them up, but what's it look like when you've got police locking up hundreds of people? And then where do you stop? Do you stop at those protesters? Do you go to the church groups? It's very difficult. This was always only going to work if the majority of New Zealanders obeyed the law. I was talking to my Australian colleagues in Melbourne last night, and they've got real concerns about the damage to the police reputation. They arrested 74 protesters on the weekend, dished out $280,000 worth of fines. But these protesters are coming up to them asking to be arrested. They're refusing to give their names on purpose. So in some ways you're just playing into the attention they want. It's a very tricky situation.
That was Police Association President Chris Cahill explaining why the police didn't swoop in and arrest those gathering unlawfully in Aotea Square on Saturday. As the entire country waits with bated breath to find out whether we'll be moving down the levels this afternoon, we can do without these types of gatherings. And yet the police really are damned if they do and damned if they don't. They do need to have the public on side. And as Chris Cahill says, arresting people just makes them martyrs to their misguided cause. You can just imagine how delighted Jamie Lee Ross, Billy TK would have been if they'd been carted off to the police cells. It would have got them all the column inches in the world that they are not going to be able to command through the validity of their political policies, through any kind of innovative, fresh look at the way things can be done in New Zealand. They're not going to get any sort of attention for that, whatever their party's called. So the only way they're going to get attention is by breaking the law. And if they were arrested, that would just be the cherry on the icing on the cake. So I understand where Chris Cahill is coming from. I don't believe it's the police we should be pointing the finger at. It's those people who willfully disobey the rules in flagrant disregard for their fellow New Zealanders who are abiding by the rules, even if they think they're over the top, in an attempt to get out of lockdown sooner. We should not be blaming the police for this shambles. Blame desperate wannabes like Jamie Lee Ross, who seems incapable of finding a real job. News Talk ZB 0800 80 10 80 is the number to call. It's 9:12.